We are going to start the next session off, but before that, may I have the iPad mini back on stage, please? Bhattacharya ji wins the iPad mini. Congratulations. Now, if you're not here in 10 seconds, you lose it again. Congratulations. Mimi, all yours.
Thank you, Jayant. And ladies and gentlemen, I think the next session is definitely going to be very interesting. In fact, Jayant wanted to be here for that session also, but I hijacked it because it is women breaking the glass ceiling. I thought, let me do justice to the title at least. So this is women breaking the glass ceiling. And it is so very true, ladies and gentlemen. You know, there's a saying which goes that God must have worked overtime when he was creating a model called women. But when she came here, it's a different story altogether on land. India still exists in a very patriarchal kind of society. The rules, the aspirations, the dreams of women are considered to be very different from that of men. And if we just look into the working stats also, there is just 33% of women working as compared to 81% of men. The real estate sector, a very tough terrain, of course, but then we see many women now breaking this glass ceiling and they are there in this sector. How comfortable they are in that, or what are, from the industry perspective, the industry leaders feel, how much she fits the bill. That's what we are going to be seeing and discussing. We have our, even the male counterparts joining us in this extensive discussion. The session is going to be moderated once again by Vasudha Sharma of NDTV. Vasudha, may I request you to kindly join us here, once again moderating the session. Inviting our panelist, Rani Wilfred. She's the Managing Director, Prime Realty and Property Management Private Limited. She is one of the pioneers in the residential property management, and she has been, in fact, encouraging a lot of women to come forward and be a part of this industry. So good to know her views. Inviting Anuja Sinha, who has more than 17 years of experience in diverse industries, including financial information, banking, and training. She's the only lady member of the governing body of NAR-INDIA, and she also serves as a chairperson of the Women Empowerment Committee, NAR-INDIA. Inviting Ms. Neena Basu, Vice President of Pioneer Property Management Private Limited. She has worked as an interface on behalf of the company for notable multinational, and she looks after also the business development and also the commercial transactions for her company. And now representing our male counterparts from the industry, inviting Mr. Vipul Shah, Vice President Smart. Let's welcome them here. Inviting Mr. Pramit Parekh, the Director of Parekh Real Estate Management Private Limited. He is in fact responsible for his company to sell highest numbers of flats in Godrej Gardens City and Adani Shantigram Township. Inviting Mr. Amit Tekriwal, the managing partner in Amit International, one of the leading Kolkata-based realty group that has been associated with many prestigious projects in the city. Inviting Mr. Dhyaneshwar J. Dhamne. Our next panelist, he's been associated with the real estate industry since 1980. So he has seen this transition also now that women coming into this sector. He holds a post of treasurer in the National Association of Realtors, India. Also the president for Association of Real Estate Consultants, Nasik. We also have the breakaway sessions which are on effective communication, which is by Mr. Pradeep Chopra. So people who are interested in being a part of that, you're requested to kindly join in the other hall. Here we have the session being moderated by NDTV. Vasudha is going to be taking over from here. Thank you.
Okay, so the real estate sector is witnessing a sort of a silent revolution. Traditionally male-dominated, the sector is slowly opening up to be more gender diverse, more diverse on the gender scales. Many who are saying that women have sort of broken the glass ceiling in the real estate space. Have they? Or as the subject of this discussion say, or are they a threat to conventional realtors? We're here to discuss and debate this. Let me begin with you, Neena. You say that there's no glass ceiling anymore.
Thanks, Vasudha. I'm privileged to be here, ladies and gentlemen. The topic itself is primitive. women no longer need to break the so-called invisible glass ceiling. Glass, in any case, is brittle. We've risen and decided to rise above it. So as I'm sitting here, it's not about real estate, it's about every domain of professional work. Women are everywhere. Only my request would be that more women should step in and work, they should educate themselves. So I can't see a glass ceiling. The challenge is all in the head. That glass ceiling is in the mind. I think I've had more mentors in my life, individual mentors. It's not about a man and woman. There is hardly any gender occupational difference today. It's what we create for ourselves. We shall continue to work together, men. So no fear.
So to all those naysayers who say that real estate is a harsh place to be in, full of adrenaline, what would you say to them?
I would say I'm enjoying myself. I would be in no other trade but this. I love meeting people every day. Relationship building is what is my strength. And that's why I would be in no other trade but this. I have the opportunity every day to meet very dynamic individuals, men and women alike. So I would keep going at it. In fact, more women I would like to see next meet in NAR conventions. I mean, we are here today and discussing a topic which I reiterate is in your mind. It's not about man and woman differences. It's about merging, connecting, networking, and growing. So we'll keep doing that.
Anuja, the glass ceiling, is it just in our minds? What are you experiencing in the industry?
Absolutely. I think I totally agree with Nina that I think, there is no glass ceiling at all. As she said, and we were having a little discussion behind, this question is primitive. We have crossed that stage where we are thinking of a glass ceiling, we are thinking of a limitation. There is no limitation. The time right now is to, just find out the reason why women are not coming so forward, despite the fact that there is so much of an opportunity here. We just need to identify the reason and, encourage them to come forward and participate. There is no ceiling, there is no limitation. Sky is the limit, I think, for them.
Sky's the limit. Rani, you're doing something very interesting. You've started this initiative called RIVA to encourage women realtors in India. Tell us about that.
Vasudha, yes. I'm very happy to take the privilege of launching RIVA India today. And RIVA India is Real Estate Women Affiliates India. And in the last 15 years, I have seen how the realty sector has changed and more women have come into this business. And it is a wonderful business to be in, believe me. And especially on a very interactive, pan-nation interactive platform called NAR-India Conventions. I have attended almost every conventions. The people from across India, the professionals come in, as well as international delegates, and we have seen that women, we have got very good encouragement from the men who are engaged in the real estate business, and that's why we're here. That's a testimony to the fact that we're just sitting here. Number two is the question. Definitely, I agree with my two friends here. We will all agree that there is no glass ceiling, none at all. But what is it that is stopping women from coming into the business? What is it that stops each one of you if you're the women members in your family said, we would like to come into this business? What would you say to them? What is that? I think that I have noticed, because I decided to be very systematic, very committed in my business. Everything was very clear, everything was systemized, everything was trackable. System brings transparency, it brings commitment. So nobody would have any of their family members engaging in a business that gives them dignity, respect, and appreciation. And we are at a very exciting time because we are almost at the cusp, that nascent where the tide turns over. In the 70s, where the US was, where the number was just like this. Many of the cities have 4 and 5 women, that is like 4 or 5 women to 100. And today, 70% of all the residential sales in the US are done by women realtors. This I got from my American friends. And slowly through the next 10, 15 years, with the new government coming in, as the reforms coming in, as the construction, the domain gets the, industry status, and as the broking, we are not just brokers, we are consultants, we are facilitators, as we understand. Right now, because there is no regulation, I, as a professional, have to set the benchmarks and make my own commitments. As we do that, it makes easier for more people to come into the business. Reva India does exactly that. Right. It is the first initiative in India that is a company dedicated to providing women the system, the platform, the training, the infrastructure, as well as the network.
Okay.
To come
Let
in
me
and do
also
the
get the men on the panel to comment on this. Let me also first speak to the developers. Pramit, is the industry, have you recognized the opportunity, the huge gap that exists in corporate world, in real estate business right now? If you don't have women in leadership roles today on your board, on your management, you're missing out on a strong, unique set of capabilities. Have you acknowledged this? Has the industry acknowledged this?
Thanks, Vasudha. First of all, I'd like all the women realtors present in the hall, please stand up. Now, Vasudha, this is the benefit they add to the industry. This is the glamour they add to the industry, which was missing. So, thank you all. Yes, we have seen a dramatic change in the corporate real estate in last 5 years or 7 years down the line. You see a lot of women are now joining corporate real estate in terms of new project marketing and all, because that's the easiest way to get into the real estate business. And one thing all men will agree with me, in real estate you need to have two qualities. One is convincing and second is negotiating. And women have these two qualities. Women are best at these two qualities. I mean, they all the time they convince men at home or everywhere. So, and
I see the women on my panel flinching at his words. I'm sure they bring a lot more to the table than just glamour. Nina, what do you have to say? Anuja. Go ahead.
As Vasudha said, and I just heard Pramit saying too, I'll only say that women have equal opportunity today. In terms of access to information and media, we're all there. Whatever you're listening on and whatever information men have, women have too. I wouldn't like to talk about this divide for very long because, it's even demeaning for me to sit here on national television and talk about differences. We've moved on far beyond what men can think. And when we are sitting here today, it's all about professionalism. It's all about job domain knowledge. We need to continue to learn. It's learning which is a challenge. Multiple tasking, which is a challenge. The challenge is not to conventional trade. The challenge is within, to multitask in the 24 hours in a day that you have for yourself.
Even Indra Nui says you can't have it all, just accept the hard fact. Indra Nui says, Pepsi CEO, that you can't have it all, accept the hard fact.
You have to let go. There are some women I know, my friends, very dear friends, colleagues, who find it very difficult to multitask and juggle work every day. I keep telling them, prioritize and let go. If you think you're in a man's world, that's your thought. We are in a world, and it's going global every day.
Anuja, before I come to you, let me get my other panelists in on this. Mr. Dhamni, what do you have to say on this subject? There are some that say that it's a debate between lack of ambition and lack of support. Are there enough opportunities in the sector, in the real estate sector today? Should women seriously look at this as a profession? Are there any opportunities?
Yes, definitely I agree with other panelists that there's a huge scope to work in a real estate industry as a realtor for women. As I have seen in international market when I had been to US last convention when I attended, I observed that there are more than 50% women realtors are working in the field and they are doing very well. Here it is the need of the hour today. It can be treated as a profession and the best best part of the woman is that they are more convincing ability, they have more convincing ability, and they are more influential than the man. This is what I feel.
Amit, your take on this? What do women bring to the table?
Hi, good evening. I fully agree with Nina and other two female panelists that it's not a glass ceiling, it's a mind ceiling which we need to actually break. Going by the numbers, if you see, US has the largest women realtor. As a registered realtor in NAR, they have around 57% as far as 2014 as women realtors, successful women realtor working in US. Traditionally, in India, it was men dominated. Now we see in most of the rows there is either one or two women sitting, and we have three over here in the dais. So women are actually, taking this up, and why not? Women are actually there in all the field. You talk about any field, education, engineering, then why not real estate? I was just recently reading an article on Times Job that on the recent study, the women's, they have preferred the real estate, interior and construction industry as their preferred industry because of their perks and work and life balance and reward which they get in this industry. So I think in India we just need to have break our mind, and men and women have to work shoulder to shoulder, and there is no gap between this. Both are equal, and I wish all the women in this hall a very good luck and all the
Vipul,
best.
do you think there's a need to bring in more women-friendly policies in the workplace, or if you talk about equity, then that should not be a case?
Good evening, friends. First, let me congratulate all three lady panelists, Nina, Anuja, and Rani, for being a role model for other women to be in real estate. And with respect to your question, first of all, let me tell you, women are much, much better realtor than men in every sense. I have personally experienced dealing with woman realtor and dealing with male realtor. The result which I have found, the negotiations of closing a negotiation, closing a deal with woman realtor is much better than having an opposite male realtor. Also, I have practically seen the difference. Most of my office staff is a female staff. They are much more efficient. They are much more responsible. They take much more responsible jobs. And I think the strength which they have got from the childhood is they are very good multitasker. They are much, much better multitasker than men, and they can do multiple jobs at a time. So I would rather put advice to my realtor man friend is be smart, hire more women employee with you, and deal with more women realtor to be more successful.
Anuja, I'll ask you the same question. Need for women-friendly policies at the workplace?
Women-friendly policies in the sense that safety for women, yes. Policies which ensure that women in the real estate industry, or for that matter, any other industry, or for that matter, working or not working, are safe everywhere. There should be very stringent policies so that each and every woman feels safe and is able to work to her full potential. She should not be scared, and has to sit back home because she feels it's not safe to go out and work. Policy should be such that ensures safety of a woman everywhere. That's what I think. Rest, everything is fine. I think not much of a change in policy. Safety is my prime concern. And I feel that one of the reasons why, more women don't join this industry is somewhere this aspect of safety comes into the picture.
Nina, you wanted to add to this?
Yes, if more men started thinking like my very valued colleagues sitting here, we wouldn't need policies. There can be no end to what policies you can make. It's about implementation of those policies. India, being patriarchal historically, men have to move up a bit and give space to women. It's a request. I'm on television, so I can always request my valued friends here that we need to think positively about working together. The stereotypical typecasting and objectification of women needs to end. Women are here for good, and I'm sure all of you are happy that we are here.
So Rani, would you say that these so-called challenges, hurdles don't exist? It's just the challenge of mindset that we have to overcome. What has your experience been in the past 30
Well,
years?
Vasudha, if excellence is the destination, then hurdles you don't really see. Because whether you're gender irrespective, in every domain there are challenges. Of course, I would be lying if I say that being a woman in any domain, I think more or less maybe the proportion may change across the world. A woman does have to put in that extra edge, but that's changing. And where real estate is concerned, nobody can do anything about it. The tide is turning. The more women are going to come into the business, and they're going to add value, whether it is a developer, because they are very happy if more properties are sold, agencies, offices. We are very happy when we have more women, the gentleman said, they are an asset, and whether as entrepreneurs also. In the last 5 years, I have seen at every NAR-India convention, even men folk, there are more people from the corporate world joining in. AVPs, vice presidents of companies coming in. So along with them, a lot of women from the corporate fold are also coming in. So this is going to change, and looking forward to that and to being part of that with Riva India.
I'd like to quote the example of Yahoo CEO Marissa Mayer. Recently, she was in news a couple of months back for scrapping the work from home concept. When she was with Google, she was quite emphatic about going for the work from home, have flexible work hours. Do you feel that flexibility for women in their how they work, where they work from, that gets sacrificed in the face of growth, revenues, targets? Nina?
Well, real estate, as in other business processes, is a very interface-based occupation. So office hours and office interface is very important in this trade. Yes, value to the business would certainly suffer if we kind of just stayed home and did the work. Because in real estate, it's networking and building relationships, which I think would be a little difficult just sitting at home and trying to connect on a phone call away. It wouldn't work. So more women have to try and balance their working hours. You can get that quality work done even if you're not spending that much time, but yes, you have to be in office. There's no other way. You have to move out and go. Otherwise, you're never going to learn anyway sitting in your house.
All right. Rani, you had something to add?
Yes. Well, there are certain aspects of the real estate. Now, as we use the internet more for real estate transactions, because my company uses that a lot, and there are many women who do work from home, who are posting up properties, who are doing a mailing, who are doing all the internet aspect of it. And in fact, they're very, very strongly influential and productive in bringing a lot of inquiries. So that aspect of the real estate business that can definitely be done from home. Thank you.
Anuja, we had Robin Waters join this event today. She's the world president of FIA BCI. It's a World Council of Brokers. She's a lady. So globally, how has the experience been different in India? What is going right there? Obviously, the representation of women there is still not that great, but compared to India, it's quite significant. So what has been different in the India case?
See, globally, I think 50% of brokers internationally are women brokers, which is not so in India. But I think the trend has now started. And in the years to come, we would see more and more women joining this industry. So it's just a question of time. It has got nothing to do with anything else. We have started late, I would say. But now we have started, so there's no looking back. And I also feel that by God's grace, we already have a lot of qualities like multitasking, professionalism, etc. If we add education and knowledge about our industry and our subject, I don't see any reason why we should be, sitting back. I think we can be way ahead and doing very well in this industry.
All right, we started late, but there's no looking back. Old traditions and old mindsets can't be changed overnight. It's going to be a slow, gradual change, but definitely we're on track. So here's to more girl power. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vasudha.
Thank you to all of you for extending your views. It's going to be slow, but yes, the momentum has already built up and it's going to be continuing and we're going to be seeing more women. Thank you to each one of you. And to express our thanks to Rani Wilfred, may I request Kaushalya to kindly present the memento. Thank you. May I request Mr. Rakesh Jain to kindly present a token of appreciation to Ms. Anuja Sinha. May I now invite Mr. Vikash Podar to kindly present the memento, thanking Ms. Neena Basu. And now I would like to invite a lady, Ms. Pushpa Srinivasan, to kindly express our thanks, presenting the memento to Mr. Vipul Shah. Pushpa, if you can also present the memento to Mr. Pramit Parak. And to thank now Amit Tekriwala, I would like to invite Mr. Rakesh Jain. And thanking Mr. DJ Dhamne, I would like to request Mr. Vikas Podar to kindly present the memento. Thank you, gentlemen and the ladies. May I request you now to kindly take your seats.